Why? Hello and welcome everybody. Also good morning. I just woke up after a very short nap, so I'm going to be pretty tired here. I want to go ahead and give you guys the day one update with the Bogged Shaman Righteous Fire. So we started off with Vile as our first lab. The Bane setup that you get in Act 3 is, or is Act 4? I think Act 3 is really incredible. Really cruises through the campaign. I think a lot of people weren't ready for the added difficulty of the Gauntlet style bosses plus Enrage, so killing targets really quickly definitely helped. From there, we were working on getting Toad packed, and the number one thing I can say about this is you really want to get as much resistance as possible due to the minus 40. You can do that by getting Holy Dominion alongside Practical Application, alongside Diamond Skin here in the early game, and that helps you get the res when you don't have any res on your gear. And then as you start acquiring more, you can start dropping out of it. It's very important to get these nodes for resistance so you're able to weave in an Immortal Flesh. The life regen that you get from Immortal Flesh is kind of almost mandatory, I would say, in the early game to help offset the downside of Pandemic for losing 5% life per second. Now, I've been using the tree for a lot of crafting. Crafted myself my current helmet, which is pretty bad, my gloves, which is pretty good, my boots, which are okay. Got a Rise of the Phoenix off a ritual, so that helped a lot with the sustain. Bought a Cloak of Flames for 10C. I was trying to avoid Cloak of Flames, but with the enraged bosses in every map, their damage is just very crazy, so I had to get a source of mitigation early for me to really feel comfortable, so that's why I opted for this, even though the POB has like an armor base or an armor ES base. Eventually I'll probably pivot off it for sure, but this is what we're using for now. Winterheart was a really cheap amulet. It was 1 chaos. It gives dexterity, which I need for Fire Trap. Gives a ton of res, which I need because of Pandemic. Not Pandemic, sorry, because of Toad Pact. Overall, the build is functioning. I'm just going to go ahead and run a quick map to show you guys what it looks like. It's not going to be very impressive. We don't have anything crazy, right? We're very basic. I don't know what the heck any of my idols do. I'm sure most people are kind of like this. I just put random shit in. I'm gonna have to look at them at some point. I've just been stocking them up right now. Now, remember, Phrecia also adds a random modifier. I think here, maybe we got the Gainus Fire. I didn't really pay too much attention. I will state something that is really nice is the damage. So the 40% more damage you get is very noticeable. Like, even though we don't have explodes right now, the actual RF damage feels pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. The AoE is not very crazy right now, but to be fair, I don't have my RF fully qualitied, and it needs to level up. For people who don't know, RF gets base radius every 4 levels, and every, I think, 4% quality, it might be 5. The reason that's important is all of your percentage increases, like Toad Pack 75% AoE, are scaling off the base. So if your base is not very high, you're not really going to get that much out of it. So make sure you always go for your quality. Quality is very, very, very good. We have died quite a few times on the character. I am not going to lie to you. Like, we've had a lot more deaths than normal. I'd like to say most people are kind of in that situation. Also, one thing to note is I'm currently on my filter for this one. So I start with the campaign and then I move on to this one. What I'm going to do now, if you want to keep up with my progression, is I'm going to make a copy of this filter, and then I'm just going to start editing it as I play. So if you want to use the most up-to-date filter, you'd be looking for the new filter I make, and I don't know what it'll be called, but you'll know because it'll be new, right? And that's primarily because even though it shows a lot of base items right now, the tree is going to be giving us most of our base items and our gear. So, like, I can keep, you know, high, like, the T1 bases for crafting, but there's not really a point to picking up items to identify when the tree is just going to give us better gear across the board, right? I will also state that there is a graph that really kind of makes things click, and that's going to be Heart of Flame. So I'm not using Olnatol yet. You can see we have a Call to Pyre, and that's going to give us the Cover in Ash. And then we also have, right over here, it is called Heart of Flame, and up at the top here, you're going to see a Heart of Flame proc from time to time, and that's basically like a super guard skill. It's very, very nice. Moving forward from here, definitely have to try to get higher life in all of my gear. I need to go ahead and maybe go for like a Legacy of Fury. I need to go pick up jewels with Fire Multi. There's the bubble right there, you can see. So live fire multi. I gotta work on pushing up the max res. Here's the enrage. Okay, no, 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 no. Bad enrage. No, 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 no. The enrage is very crazy on targets. That's what's definitely caused most of my deaths. Anyway, here's a quick look at the passive tree again. Moving forward on the passive tree, I would say the next thing would be incorporating glancing blows and going block based. So if you follow the POB, that means grabbing Sanctuary, hitting glancing blows, and I think anointing Aggressive Bastion. Aggressive Bastion is super good because it will help generate endurance charges, and endurance charges are very welcomed with this build as we have an okay life pool, but very low sources of mitigation for now. Anyway, that's pretty much about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the day one update. I'm going to catch you guys all later. Thanks for watching. We'll be live on the stream and we'll be blasting. Have a good one, everybody.